Well, the Kentucky Derby Trail is underway. And of course, we have the Kentucky Derby Prep Race Leaderboard contest at TwinSpires. Be sure to go to twinspires.com and opt into that great $100,000 offer. You make a win bet in any of these Kentucky Derby Prep races. And if you're opted in, you make that win bet successfully, you earn the points that the horse earns in the race. So even if he runs third, if he's supposed to get 2 points or 3 points for third, depending on the race, you actually get those points and continue to climb up the leaderboard. So be sure to watch and wager with us all Kentucky Derby prep season. James, one of those prep races this weekend is the Jerome Stakes from the Big A in my backyard here in New York. 150,000 going the one-turn mile. Interesting field. It's got some quickness and some speed to it. Definitely the pace scenario here looks to be live with some of the key players wanting to be pretty forward.
That's right. It's first of four preps at Aqueduct this year, rode to the Kentucky Derby Series qualifiers. And you're right. It looks like there's a fair amount of speed signed on for sure. The last, a runner-up from the Remsen Stakes is coming back in this spot. And that race, by contrast, didn't have much pace at all, I didn't think. So it looks like it will be lively on the front end in the Jerome.
Yeah, we even have a couple of horses that have been sprinting a bit that are stretching out. Valenzen Day, who's coming up for the Mid-Atlantic off the claim for Linda Rice. Certainly seems that one is going to be a part of the early pace scenario as well. And Andiamo Alforense, who went 6 furlongs in a New York bred race at the Finger Lakes last time, who laid close to the pace there and has been on the lead going a mile, is another that's going to be forward. And as you mentioned, the horse that we'll talk about first, Arctic Arrogance, the runner-up from the Remsen, who has been on the lead in all 4 starts. The race at the Belmont at Aqueduct meet on September 29th was a pretty lively pace that he ended up on the front end there. He's never been out of the exacta. He's cutting back from 1 mile and 1/8. Certainly the horse brings a stout resume to this race, but he is going to have company on the front end, and you're probably going to have to take a short price if you like him here.
Yeah, and you look at Arctic Arrogance's race last time. You can't take anything away from it, but he just had everything his own way, Darin. WNL, who's a nice horse, was coming off a maiden win for Chad Brown. It was really under a ride just to be like a length and a half or so behind him, I thought, a little bit in the early stages. And Arctic Arrogance really just had no excuse. He basically tried to dig in when challenged, but came up about a half length short. And by contrast, last year's Remsen Stakes, I thought, was a really strong field. Obviously, Mo Donegal and Zandon ran 1-2. The 2022 Remsen field, time will tell about the WNL and the rest of the group, but I'm a little bit dubious of the overall quality of that field. And I do think Arctic Arrogance, because of the pace scenario, could be vulnerable in the Jerome.
Yep, and it'll be interesting to see if he can actually make the lead in this group, because there certainly is some other speed signed on. And if he doesn't make the lead, can he adapt to a new dimension against a quality field? So certainly some questions there. One of the speeds and the horse that could potentially be the true speed of the race, a sprinter stretching back out for the second time, Andiamo Alforense. This horse was a sparkling winner in his maiden special weight earlier on in his career as a 2-year-old over at Belmont. Ran well behind Mo Strike in the Sanford. Then he went back into New York bred company where he was dominant, made the lead in the Champagne. Disappointed last time sprinting. He stretches back out. He's a little bit of an enigma. You never quite know which version of this horse is going to show up, but he always does bring his early foot.
Yeah, and I actually gave it Damio a shot in that Champagne. I really liked his effort on the funny side on a sloppy track at Saratoga. I thought that was a big step forward for this Kelly Breen trained colt. He didn't run that well that day, but his effort last time at Finger Lakes, at least Cusick Avenue, is also a really solid look at New York bred. So it's very dangerous, I think, given that he's shown some class before and is a stakes winner.
Jimmy Ferraro brings an interesting runner into this field in General Banker. The thing about this horse is they raced him on the turf for 4 of his first 6 tries, and he was unable to break through in the maiden ranks. Then he came out in a maiden special weight in his second second or third try, I should say, on the dirt, finished an improved second at long odds when sprinting. Then he breaks his maiden by 8.5 lengths next time out in the New York Stallion Series for $500,000, earning by far the best speed figure of his career in doing so. Now he's going to stretch further out in this particular spot. A little bit of a question, did he benefit from the muddy track last time? I'm always a little dubious when you see a big figure in the mud, but maybe this horse just going a little bit longer on dirt is what he wanted to do the entire time, and it's possible he might keep getting better.
Yeah, you can make the case light bulb has come on for General Baker, and now he's on the upswing and will keep getting better. But I was a little bit dubious of the New York Stallion Series quality of that field. Lifetime of a Chance was also a maiden who ran third. He's entered on Friday. We'll see how he runs. He'd give a little bit of a gauge on General Baker.
So one of the horses in this field is shipping in from Kentucky, and it's a horse that we both like quite a bit in here, and that is Lugan Knight. This horse debuted well behind Protege, finishing a good second when sprinting, went to Keeneland, won a strong maiden special weight, then finished third in his subsequent try in a good allowance group. I think from what I've seen, I really liked a couple of the 2-year-olds and basically just the overall 2-year-old form in Kentucky so far in 2022 and how it's come back. I know he's stretching out and he probably will want to be close to the pace, but I think with his particular running style, if he can put forth a similar stalking effort while stretching out to a mile, I think he really could benefit from a lively pace scenario in front of him. And I certainly think he's got the talent to pull this off.
Yeah, and I agree. And I don't, I'm not too keen on perhaps him going forward at 2-turn distances. He's by Golden Sense, who's a miler, can throw routers, but this female family, Spites Down, and even his second maternal dam was a champion sprinter, a little bit based on speed. But I do think the 1-turn mile hits Lugan Knight in that right between the eyes. I really liked his maiden win 2 back. He took a lot of kickback from the rail, had to alter course repeatedly in the stretch at Keeneland, and really found his best stride late to win going away. And it was similar last time. That was the Stars of Tomorrow 2 program that Lugan Knight exits a third place finish in an allowance on November 26th at Churchill. And obviously, victory formation coming back and winning the Smarty Jones at Oaklawn like he did by open lens. Two Eagles River missed a break in an Oaklawn stake last Saturday, ran a good second to Frosted Departure. So that was a really good, maybe the best allowance race on that Stars of Tomorrow program, probably was. We'll see. There was another good winner, but I think Lugan Knight is the type that has really found his best stride in the stretch. I like the fact he's been able to show some tactical foot as well. He broke on top last time. And I just think he's going to set a good trip just off the speed runners in that next flight of horses and be in position to capitalize turning for home.
Certainly have to respect trainer Mike McCarthy when he ships one in like this as well. So James and I both are on Lugan Knight in the Jerome Stakes Saturday at Aqueduct. It is a part of the $100,000 Kentucky Derby Prep Leaderboard Contest. Be sure to go to TwinSpires.com and get opted in, take part. We're giving away a couple of trips, VIP trips to the Derby, and there's prize money all the way down for the top 100 that finish in the top 100 in that leaderboard contest. So again, TwinSpires.com to watch, wager, opt in, and play with us. Thanks for joining us. We will be with you along with some of the other TwinSpires television talent all Kentucky Derby Prep season long. So we'll see you again soon.